Hey, you. What's up? Recently, Genshin Impact added a tower defense mechanic, just specifically for the new event. For those of you who don't know, a tower defense game is basically a game in which you have turrets that you place down with a certain amount of currency, and there are balloons or enemies or just monsters that are trying to get to an exit point, and they follow a certain path. And what you're supposed to do is you place a bunch of turrets, and you try to stop the enemies from getting to that path, and when a certain amount of enemies crosses to the exit, then you lose. If you manage to defeat all of the enemies and however many waves there are, then you will win. Now, when they announced this, I was rather confused actually, because tower defense games are very separate from the type of game like Genshin, an open world game. It's closer to actually Arknights. If you've ever played that, it's a similar gacha game. It's just not open world. That's a tower defense game. But I was kind of confused when they announced tower defense for Genshin Impact. I felt like it didn't really fit the mood. But since it is Chinese New Year, they had the Lantern Rite Festival. I guess it's just a nice sort of minigame that we can play to get rewards and stuff. However, I do still feel as if it's a bit out of place in Genshin Impact. But basically what happens is you have specific turrets of each element, and you can place those, and you can kill the Hilichurls or Samachurls or Midachurls or whatever enemies that happen to come your way. Almost as soon as it was released, however, people found crazy glitches. So basically, usually, what's supposed to happen is you move your character around to place the turrets. However, it's not supposed to do any damage. And what people found out is that you can actually apply elements from your character even if they don't do damage, and you can do the elemental reaction Shatter, which does crazy damage, and you don't even need to use your turrets. What you do is you apply Hydro to a monster, then you apply Cryo, and that freezes the enemy. But once that happens, if you hit the ice with a Claymore character, it will shatter the ice and do a lot of damage. I'm not sure if that was an intentional game design, but it seems quite broken, at least at the moment. In the footage, you're probably going to see me doing that method quite a bit. But the main thing right here is that I don't really think it's honestly that fun. I mean, it's cool in its own right. It may be cool even for a game that doesn't fit, but I don't really get the same vibe as I do from other tower defense games, like even Balloons. Balloons are probably one of the most famous tower defense games out there, and, well, Genshin Impact can't really replicate the same sort of feeling, even if it's completely different art style, and even some different mechanics. I think it does well as its own minigame, so I'm not complaining or anything. I'm just saying, I feel like a lot more could be improved in that sense. And seeing as they're likely going to be doing the Lantern Rite Festival every year from now on, I would think they're probably going to make some adjustments to the game. So overall, I guess my rating out of it is a meh. It's kind of fun, however, it still doesn't hit the same mark as some of the other tower defense games. Again, I know it's a minigame, and you can get some pretty dope rewards from it, but I guess my biggest problem is that it doesn't really fit the vibe at all. Like, again, as I stated before, Genshin is a gacha open world RPG that you can even use co-op in, and having a tower defense game that really has nothing to do with the current event at all, other than the fact that's just a minigame set up by somebody at the Lantern Rite Festival, it really doesn't seem to fit the same sort of theme as everything else. Thankfully, there are some pretty great rewards that you can get out of it, like 20 Heroes Win or Purple XP books. You can get Ascension materials, you can get talent level up materials, you can get a talent crown, which is probably one of the most important things on there, since they can only be accessed during events. And you can even get a free 4-star character if you play enough of the game, which is actually pretty insane. You can get, I believe, either Xiangling Beidou, Ningguang, Xingqiu, or Changyun. I think those are the ones you can get. I'll show a picture up on screen. And due to those awesome rewards, I actually bumped my rating of the minigame up a little bit. But so far, the Lantern Rite Festival is going pretty dope. A bunch of free Primo Gems. They just started the calendar login reward event, and that's actually gonna be cool, really cool. I think you get over, like, around 10 free wishes over the course of the 7-day login event, which is quite a lot. But honestly, I'm still in high hopes for the rest of the Lantern Rite event. This minigame might not have been the best, but it definitely hasn't been the worst event. The worst event was probably actually the first event they ever had. I believe it was the Elemental Crucible. But I think the best part of this event is the fact that it costs no resin. 0 resin at all. I think that's how it's going to be from most events now on. But one of the main gripes that people have with Genshin Impact is there's too much resin consumption. We don't have enough resin. It doesn't refill fast enough. And the events use too much resin. And thankfully, this event needs 0 resin, at least so far, and we're getting a lot of rewards for it for no resin. And I think that really looks up to more better events later on in the future of Genshin Impact, and I'm still really hyped for future updates. I do believe patches 1.4 and 1.5 are going to be filler patches, and I believe that Inazuma might come out in 1.6, which means we still have a few months till then. But until then, we can definitely look forward to a bunch of more new events, free wishes, and things of the sort. But that's really all I have for today. So thanks for watching if you made it till the end. And I do stream sometimes on YouTube. I've switched from Twitch to YouTube because I feel like it's just more fun to stream on YouTube than it is on Twitch. And people always get the notifications from my YouTube. So, yeah. Like and sub if you haven't already. And I'll see you later.